All right, thank you so much. Guys, Van and I are so excited that we're dialing into your living room tonight and sharing with you what I believe is the most important topic, which is the art of recruiting. Recruiting is nothing more than putting rocket fuel to your business. You're multiplying your business versus growing your business through addition. And if you're recruiting, you're building an army so that you can actually build a leverage machine that continues to grow without you, in spite of you, 1,000 miles away from you. And also, recruiting has a strong benefit that a lot of people don't realize. Recruiting exemplifies leadership. You're truly leading by example. There's a saying I've learned a long time ago: people don't do what you say, they do what you do. So if you're constantly just sharing the product, guess what? Your team is sharing the product. But if you're recruiting and you're sponsoring new brand partners, guess what? Your team is recruiting and sponsoring new brand partners too. So if you are sponsoring people and your team is sponsoring people, your business is truly multiplying. It's like racing between two people. One person has a calculator and pressing the button with addition, and the other person is pressing the button with multiplication. It doesn't matter how fast the person is pressing the add button, the person that is on cruise control with the multiplication button is always going to beat the person that is just building on addition. So recruiting multiplies and puts rocket fuel to your business. So how do you build an army? Well, when Van and I first got started in the business, I can just tell you what we did. What we did was we focused on our warm market. I think that the average person that gets started can stay within the warm market within the first 12 months easily. And what Van and I did was we actually went through our phone book. So if you're taking notes, if you haven't done this yet, go through your cell phone immediately, click on your contact list, and make a list of every single person you know from A to Z. And what Van and I also did was we didn't prejudge a single person. We wrote every single person's name down, even if we didn't talk to them for a long time. And if you don't know how to approach those people that maybe you haven't talked to since elementary school, since high school, don't worry, we'll show you exactly what to do as well. But we went through everyone, A to Z, on our cell phone. I went through my cell phone. Van went through her cell phone. And the next thing we did is we went through our Facebook. So if you have LinkedIn, Facebook, or Twitter or whatnot, where you have access to a contact list, or you have a Christmas card database, go through every single person and write their name down on a legal pad or a clean sheet of paper. You don't want to trust your memory, and you definitely don't want to trust your cell phone, because the more you're spinning wheels through your cell phone, it's taking more time away from you to focus on high payoff activities. So what we did was we just put everything on a hard copy paper, okay? And then the next thing we did was we qualified that list in 3 different categories, and I'll share that with you tonight. So the first thing we did was we put the letter R, as in real results parties, next to everyone's name that was local, we trusted, and we felt comfortable inviting over our home. Every single person that was local, we trusted them, and we felt comfortable inviting over our home. We put the letter R next to everyone's name. We put the letter L next to everyone's name that was long distance. They lived out of state, or in this case, they live in Canada, and they lived maybe 150 miles away, maybe in another city that they would not drive. In other words, if you called them up, you said, "Hey Frankie, come over to my house," and they say, "You're crazy." That's a perfect person that you want to write their name. You want to put the letter L next to their name. Okay. So now you have the R's identified out. You have all the L's identified out. The third one that you want to identify is all the people that are acquaintances that are local to you. In other words, if there's someone that is local to you and you don't feel comfortable inviting over to your home, they're like someone that you met, a friend of a friend. They're an acquaintance. Okay, you want to put the letter A next to their name. Okay. So once you're done doing that, you want to add up the total amount of A's, the total amount of L's you have, and the total amount of R's you have. In each of those categories, we're going to focus on a different approach using a different tool on each category. Okay? And that's what Van and I did. Mind you, think of it this way. Van was literally 8 months pregnant, and we were making this list, and we were just working our job. Van and I, we were just told by our sponsors that our job isn't to enroll a new brand partner or enroll a preferred customer. We had great sponsors that said your main objective is to get them from not knowing about the information to knowing about the information. That's it. Your job is to be able to just expose them to the information and collect a result. It doesn't matter if it's a yes or a no, you just want to collect a result. So if you're looking at this picture here, this is the perfect example of you making your list and you're exposing them through a third-party tool, which I'll explain that in a little bit, and then you're going to follow up with them, and then eventually you're going to put them on a three-way call with an expert so that the expert can determine if they need more information or they want to become a new brand partner. On the right side, you'll see is cold market. So what's cold market? Cold market is people that you haven't met yet. This is the, maybe this is the gas station assistant, or maybe this is someone that you met, while you're actually at school, or maybe you're at, you actually met them. I would say I call them the 3-foot rule. Anyone that's 3 foot in front of you, they're considered a cold market. All right, if you haven't met them yet, that's cold market. Now, here's the thing. I'm not saying that we're not going to focus a lot on cold market. I'll give you a couple of tips. But what I want to do is I want to help you focus within your first 12 to 24 months within your warm market, because Van and I, to this very day, we're still sponsoring people within our warm market after 2 years, okay? So how do you build an army? You constantly want to put your warm market exposures and your cold market exposures through this funnel, and you want to continue filling your funnel every single day and every single week, every single year, and you want to teach others to do the exact same thing. And here's the tip. Whatever exposure you're doing with them, whether they say yes or no, interested, not interested, a big tip, you want to emotionally detach yourself from the response. You just want to fill this funnel as many people as much as possible consistently over a sustained period of time. That's how you build an army. So how do you approach people? The first thing is you want to understand the scale of influence. And this graph does a perfect job explaining this, okay? Now, you're going to see the blue bubble or the turquoise bubble, that's you. And what you do is what you typically do is you look at yourself as a 5 from a scale from 1 to 10. 10 is the highest scale of influence. 1 is just the lowest scale of influence. And what we typically do is we scale ourselves as a 5, average, okay? And a 10 is someone technically you look up to, okay? You look up to these people. Whereas a 1, you look down to, okay? And a 5, well, they're your peers, okay? These are the people that you probably went to school with. Maybe they could be your coworkers. You hang out with them every single day. So they know your bad habits. They know exactly what you do, what you don't do, okay? Now, what we typically do is we approach these people based on how we perceive them. But in reality, you got to approach them based on the prospect's perspective of you, how they view you. So in other words, if you look up to a 10, guess what? A 10 looks down at you. So if a 10 looks down at you, you have to approach from their perspective. So how would you approach a 10? Well, think of it this way. How does a child get ice cream, right? How does a child actually ask for something? Usually when my daughter comes home from school, she always goes, Daddy, can you help me? Well, I'm always gonna look at her, and I see her puppy dog eyes, and I'm like, oh man, of course I'm gonna help you. What is it? And right now she's in kindergarten, so she's obviously her stuff is really easy. I can help her out with that stuff. If it's anything else, my wife is gonna do it. But she's probably asking me about tracing or something. I got that taken care of, right? But notice what I said. Well, she asked for help. So in other words, if you want to approach a 10, what you got to do is you got to ask for help. I like to ask for their opinion, ask for help, ask for their support. Okay, and if it's a 1, remember you look down at a 1, but you got to look at it from a 1's perspective. A 1 looks up to you. So if a 1 looks up to you, guess what? You're the 10. So what does a 10 do? A 10 can tell a 1 what to do. So you can simply, this is like my little brother. I remember when I first got started in Nerium, the first thing I did was I told my little brother, Tin, I said, hey Tin, look, go to my website, check out the website, you're probably going to get started. And it's funny because my little brother said, okay, you got it. And he went on my website and took a look at it. It was really, really simple, okay? And then a 5, well, this is a tough one. The 5, you know what? They know your bad habits. They know what you can do, what you can't do. They know your good habits. They know your bad habits. Okay, so the way of five works. It's tricky, but you want to go around them. Okay. Well, if anything, you can't go wrong by just asking for their opinion. Okay. Hey, John, can I get your opinion on something? That works like a charm. One thing I also love doing, if you happen to be able to pull this off, I do it all the time. Um, one of my best friends, Vincent, I gave him a call and I said, "Hey Vince, listen, I wanted to give you a call because I just started working at this company. Van and I were so excited working here, and we're actually being trained by one of the most successful people in the company. And he asked me if I knew anyone that was sharp, open-minded, that wouldn't mind making an extra cash flow or extra income on top of what they're doing." And I said, you know what? I know the perfect person to call. Let me call Vincent real quick. So Vince, the reason why I'm calling you is because can I get your mom's phone number? And I remember Vincent, he was like, wait a minute, my mom's number? What do you mean my mom's number? I'm like, yeah, well, when he asked me if I knew anyone was sharp, I was thinking, you know what? Your mom is really sharp and she totally fits, the physique of these kind of people that we work with. And he was like, well, what about me? I'm like, Vince, you wouldn't be interested. And I can tell, I can't see it, I couldn't see him on the other line, but I can totally feel it that he was disgruntled, he was pissed. He's like, well, what about me, right? But anyways, he gave me his mom's phone number, and I called up his mom and I said, hey, Miss Den, hey, nice, I just wanted to give you a call real quick. Look, your son referred me to you, and I was able to get your number from your son. And anyways, and then I was able to expose her, and of course she's a 10, so I asked her for her help and I asked her for her opinion. Well, by the way, later that night, this true story, I called my friend Vince. I called our friend Vincent back, and I said, "Hey Vince, so sorry. I had to talk to. I had to share your mom the information we're so excited about. But Vince, are you interested in making extra income?" And he was like, "Yeah. Well, what do you do?" So we end up exposing him, and yes, he actually ended up joining our team as well. So guys, it's so important that you follow the scale of influence, because if you understand the scale of influence, you're able to approach people a lot easier. Okay, so let me give you guys one more tip real quick as you're approaching these people. It's very important how you set things up, since we're talking about approaches. There's a few prerequisites that I do before calling someone. Number one, you gotta be urgent. Okay. By the way, before I get into it, one thing I do want to talk to you about is that when you are approaching people, remember this: that you are the messenger, not the message. You're the commercial, not the movie. You're the inviter, okay, not the party. So what you want to do is you want to be able to just get yourself out of the way and just invite people. Okay, you're the usher, and let someone else do the presenting. Okay, so so number one, so as you're approaching someone, you want to pick up the phone, you want to call them, and the first thing you want to say is, "John, listen, I only have a minute." What this is going to do is this is going to set up the urgency so that they don't ask you a lot of questions. So, "Hey John, listen, I only have a minute." And then the second thing I always do is I always clear their schedule. So let's say I wanted to invite them out to a real results party. I always want to say, "Hey John, listen, I only have a minute. I was wondering, what are you doing this Friday at 7 o'clock?" And John's going to say, "Nothing. I'm open. Why? What's going on?" And if John's a 10, I'm going to ask him for help. "Well, John, listen, I need your help. I'm working on a project. Van and I were working on a project we're really excited about. And since you're very successful and you run a business, a very successful business, if I can add, I would love to get your insight and your opinion and honestly your help on this. Since you're not doing this Friday at 7 o'clock, I was wondering if you can swing by and give me your thoughts on what I'm doing." She's gonna say, "Sure." So guys, it's really important that you set that up. Urgency, like I said, I only have a minute. And the second thing is you always want to clear the schedule. What are you doing this Friday at 7 o'clock? Okay. So guys, I'm so excited that you're learning the scale of influence. So also another thing that you want to know is that some of you might be in a position where you're saying to yourself, "Well, I have people on my list that I haven't talked to for a long time. What do I do?" Well, when Van and I actually were making our list and we categorized our list, we had a ton of people that we haven't talked to for a while. And it's not you're like a bad person or anything. Van and I, we understand why we haven't kept in touch with them. Obviously we were about to have our second child. We have a daughter, and we're busy with life. So sometimes life actually takes us through different paths. So what Van and I did was we actually learned this technique called FORM, which stands for FORM, Family, Occupation, Recreation, Motivation. And I'm gonna give you guys I'm just gonna tell you guys life experience what Van and I did. We literally actually just a few people, many people, we called them up, and instead of just talking about Nerium, what Van and I did was we just, we just called them up. We say, hey, you know what? Hey, Kareem, listen, I haven't talked to you for a long time, man. How's everything going? I was just thinking about you, and I was just want to see how things were going. Oh, things are going great. So, how's your family doing? Oh, honestly, that things are going great. I don't know if you know, Tuan, but we have 3 kids now. I'm like, no way. Last time I talked to you, had one. I was like, oh my gosh, how old are your kids? Well, 3, 5, and 7. Oh my gosh, wow, I had no idea. Yeah, we have 3 girls. Oh, that's awesome. So what do you do for work nowadays? So now, I'm asking about, what does he do for work? So what do you do for work now? Oh, I work in construction. How long have you been working there? I've been working there for 7 years. Man, you must be like the manager there. No way, man. I'm just exhausted. I'm tired of work. Okay, gotcha. Well, what do you do for fun now? So guys, I'm literally just asking him questions, but I'm not being a robot. I'm like, how's your family? What do you do for work? What do you do for fun? But what I do is I'm just taking the time and getting to know them and what they're doing. So what we're doing is we're just fostering genuine relationships. This is called the art of small talk. So if you're constantly building relationship with people by asking about their family, what they do for work, and what motivates them, or what do they see themselves doing for the next 5 years, well, guess what? They're gonna turn around and ask you, well, what do you do for work now? And you can always respond back. Well, it's funny that you say that. Actually, I work full time at such and such, but I just started working at this company, and you know what? I'd love to get your opinion on it. Do you have a few minutes? Boom. And what Van and I did was we literally went through our Facebook and we started private messaging people. Hey, how you been? It's been a while, and we just started reconnecting with people. Guys, I mean, we live in a society where Facebook is actually at your disposal. You can actually access and connect with people instantly, real time. So Van and I, all we do is we went through Facebook with all the people we haven't talked to for a long time. We searched for them, we found them, and we sent them private message and just reconnected with them. We never spammed them with Nerium. All we do is just reconnected with them and had the art of small talk. And eventually they just opened up to us and said, well, what do you do for work nowadays? And we just approached them. So this is going to give you the ability to find out what motivates them and what their hot buttons are. And so this is a very, very, very powerful tool, okay? Also, as you are going out there and recruiting and sponsoring, you want to know that everyone's different, okay? You want to know what their colors are. So as you can see here, there's 4 different color personalities. A red person, what I call as a shark, is very money motivated. They care about success a lot. They're very flashy. They're very clean cut, okay? You'll notice that they're always dressed to impress, but not to impress other people, but they're dressing up so that they can feel confident in themselves. So they can go out there and do the best job possible. They're very competitive, and they're very, very determined and very motivated to be the best, okay? A blue person is all about fun, and they're all about party. They're dressed very flamboyant, very, very, very trendy, but they're social butterflies, okay? You'll see them, they're always excited about going on vacations or traveling the world, or they want to go to like the mixers and go out to events and socialize. They're all about relationships, okay? And the green person, they're very interesting, right? We don't get along that well because, we do because my wife is, she's part green, right? But they're very logical, okay? They're very fact oriented and very science oriented, okay? But the one thing about them is that they're very skeptical. They're always wanting to learn more. Here's one thing you got to know, okay? When they're asking a lot of questions, it's not a bad thing. They're asking a lot of questions because they're motivated and they're fueled by information. It creates stability in their thought process. So residual income is the big motivator for a green, okay? Yellow is very cause motivated. They love helping people. Money doesn't motivate this group of this category at all. But if you were to add money into it, it's really about how the money can help a lot of people. Okay, so know this. Okay, the worst thing you can do is talk about money to a yellow. Okay, or it's going to be a terrible thing if you talk about fun with the green person. What you want to do is you want to tune into their favorite radio station, which is WIIFM, What's in It for Me. So how do you find out what color they are? By forming them, finding out what their family, asking questions about their family, their occupation, what they do for fun, and what motivates them. Okay? So now that you've learned a little bit about how to approach someone, you want to know this, okay? The whole business, the one thing that you just got to get really good at mastering is how to approach someone. Because everything else, the company's already taken care of it. We have all the tools you need that is available at your fingertips. You have the DVDs that does the full presentation. You can actually download the videos or the presentations through your iPad or through your iPhone or Android. And you can also, we actually have lead capture pages where you can actually direct people to instantly, and they can see a full video presentation. Or we have the Nerium Communication Center. We have videos at your fingertips to email people to right away. And lastly, we actually have our product, which is Real Results, and you can let people try that product out and approach people with that product so they can see the real results right away. So, this company has taken care of everything for you. You just got to get good at the approach. So, a few things that you want to know is you want to make sure that you label your tools. Don't be that person that hands tools out without having your personal information on there. This includes your name, your phone number, your email address, and what I recommend is maybe your Facebook fan page, because sometimes, believe it or not, people don't just join a company, but they want to know, who am I joining with? So it's good to be able to put your social media page on there as well. Also your lead capture page, because Van and I, we've handed out magazines and DVDs to people, and literally there's times that we never got their phone number, but it's interesting enough is that we've had times where people would go on our lead capture page and would fill out the information, and that gave us the opportunity for us to follow up with them so that they can enroll and become a brand partner in the business. So very, 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 very important to do this. Lead capture pages. We were just talking about this earlier. The company Nerium International just launched this not too long ago. I'm so excited about this because instead of teaching a new brand partner to learn the Nerium Communication Center, which could take a few days, or to wait for the product to come in the mail, the moment someone enrolls and becomes a brand partner, the second that the information gets processed, the lead capture pages is fully activated, up and running. So this is the two-step marketing splash page, and how it works is that when you direct someone to your website, they have a 2-minute video that piques their interest. It's like a commercial, right? It's enough for them to say, wow, I want to learn more about it. This is where the video is going to direct them to fill out their basic information, which is their name, email, and phone number. Once they press submit, it's going to be put into an responder campaign where Nerium is going to go ahead and drip on them for you and send them an email that's customized with your name on it, so that it's going to drip them with another video or just another tool, so that they can constantly be exposed to new tools all the time until they get started, right? Very, very powerful. And then once they access into the other side of this splash page, there's a full 15-minute video presentation that goes the product and the business opportunity. Very, very powerful tool. What I encourage you to do is, all the people that you put the letter L next to their name, what you want to do is you want to pick up the phone, call them up, and this is what I would say. I would say, hey John, listen, I only have a minute. I was wondering, can you grab a pen? Sure, I got a pen. Great, write this website down. Give them your lead capture page. I was wondering, can you actually type this on your computer right away and actually give me your opinion on this project I'm working on? He's gonna say, what is it? Just say, listen, do me a favor. I'd love to get your opinion on it. I just gave you my website. If you can go to my website, I'd just love to get your opinion on it. That's it. You can just say, it's a project I'm working on. I'm really excited. I'd just love to get your opinion on it. So it's very, very simple to do when you're using a lead capture page. And the last tool that I can tell you that the company provides is the Nerium Blitz. This is where basically on Wednesday, every hour on the hour from 9 a.m. Central Standard Time to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, you can actually give someone a phone number, which is right here in front of you, 832-225-5230. Passcode is 7325#. And when you give someone this conference call number, there's going to be a national marketing director that's going to do a full presentation that goes over the product and the opportunity with testimonials, and it's going to go through the details for your prospect so that they can hear the Nerium experience. And that's so powerful because because instead of you just driving to someone's house, you can literally give someone this phone number and they can hear the full presentation. And there's two things that can come out of it. A, they can become a brand partner or a preferred customer, or B, this exposes them enough to pique their interest so that you can actually take them to the next step, which is a website, have them try out the product or invite them out to a live event or put them on a three-way call, okay? So everything I just shared with you, you want to master that, but you don't want to master it in terms of doing it, exposing 10, 50 people a day, which is fine. You don't want to let your minimums be your maximum. But if you want to get good at something, you want to master the 2-a-day system. In other words, you want to consistently do 2 exposures a day, like I said, consistently over a sustained period of time. I'd rather, like I said earlier, I'd rather have 1,000 rookies doing 2 exposures a day, piquing someone's interest using a third-party tool, and setting up a date to follow up and putting them on a 3-way call with an expert. I'd rather have 1,000 people doing that than having 10 ninjas doing 20 exposures a day. I'm not telling you not to do 10 exposures a day if you can do that, but at least go out there and do 2 exposures a day, the minimum. Okay, that's the most important thing. And if you do that, you're going to start seeing your business multiply because everyone can do 2 exposures a day consistently over a sustained period of time. So as I wrap things up on my section, know this is that a couple philosophies. The whole business is wrapped around 3 different philosophies. Number 1, exposure is everything. Exposure is everything we just talked about. Giving someone a DVD, having someone see the Nerium Communication Center, emailing the information, or sitting down with them and showing them a video, okay? Number 2, but fortune is made in the follow-up, okay? The fortune is made in the follow-up. So you want to master the follow-up. Van's going to go over that. And the third is that as you go out there and build a very big business, you're going to start realizing that usually between 1 out of 7 or 1 out of 10 is going to be that one person that's going to be willing to work with them. So I'd rather run with 100 people than drag a dead body. So just work with the willing, folks. And before I transition to Van to go over the 3-way calls, what I want to do is go back to what we were just talking about on terms of that list of what Van and I did. So all the R's, what you want to do is you want to invite them to your real results parties, okay? All the A's, what you want to do is you want to book a sit down and have a cup of coffee with them, or go to Jamba Juice, or go grab lunch with them, or you can actually send them to your website. But if you actually book a sit down with them, take your iPad or a laptop and show them the full video presentation. And if they're long distance, you want to send them to your lead capture page, or you can mail them out a magazine. So guys, I'm so excited that I got a chance to share with you my the first half of this topic. What I want to do is I want to bring it back to Vance so she can go over the three-way call.